Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Afternoon, Facebook. Good afternoon, IG. How are you guys doing out there today on this lovely Tuesday afternoon? Sun is shining very bright here in sunny California. Once again, Elaine Proby here, CEO, PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, bringing you guys some tips that you can use personally and in your business. Okay, PROBY'S Tax and Accounting have been instrumental in assisting a lot of business owners, guys. We have set up a lot of corporations. We've set up a lot of businesses. We have watched their operation and helped them accounting wise, tax wise, and walk them through this whole process. And now they are multi-million-dollar businesses. And we want to make sure that we can assist you guys and give you all some tips to help you personally and do in your business so that you can become as successful. All right. So today what I want to talk about is a topic that most people are struggling with, and it is what type of forms do I need to file for my business? And I get this question a lot because even though some people are in business for a while, they still don't understand the forms that they're filing for their business, simply because you don't walk around talking forms, right? I mean, that's something that a tax person will do. But every now and then you will get a question from someone. If you're trying to get a refinance or you're doing something or purchasing an item, someone will call and ask you, send me your 1040, send me your Schedule C, send me your 1120. You guys are not familiar with these forms are. You know it's something to do with taxes. So I have clients calling me all the time. What are they talking about? What do they mean by these forms? And so I just wanted to run this by you guys a little bit. So take some notes. All right, you guys, hit like and share on this video. Make sure that all your friends and family get this information. This is some free tips here from PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. So the first point I want to make today, guys, is when it comes to what form you need to be filing for your business, it has to do with the structure of your business. You need to know what business structure are you operating in, right? A lot of times we start a business as a sole proprietor and we wind up incorporating that business. There are four main business type, and that would be the sole proprietor. If you're the only person in the business, you're operating this business, you haven't filed anything with your state, and so you are operating as a sole proprietor, right? This will determine what forms that you will file for your business, okay? So the main structure, sole proprietor, you can either be a partnership, okay, an LLC and or a corporation. And we'll talk about what those forms are, what those structures are, and that will determine what it is that you file for your business. So for you to be a little bit more familiar with these forms, when someone says, send me your 1040 or send me your Schedule C, you kind of know what they're talking about, all right? That will determine the form that you file. It will determine when you file these forms, right? We're going to talk about that, and then we'll talk about what those forms are, and we'll talk about how they affect you personally and business wise if you don't get your taxes filed in on time based on what these forms are. Right. All right, so let's talk about the sole proprietor. My second point is going to be what forms that these structures file. All right, we'll talk about what the structures are. And hey, how you doing? I'm going to tell you what these forms are that you're filing based on your business structure. So the first point here was about the business structure, whether you're an individual, whether you're a corporation, whether you're a partnership, or whether you're an LLC, it will determine the forms. So let's talk about the sole proprietor form. This is the one that's most common to most people, right? Because everybody calls and asks you for your 1040. However, what I get from clients all the time, they're like, I am a sole proprietor. I'm running my business. Do I file a separate form for my business? Or how does that work? This is a question from clients all the time. How does that work? So if you are a sole proprietor, guys, and you're running that business as a sole prop, you will file a personal tax return. However, on your personal tax return is a form called a Schedule C, which is that business operation from your as a sole proprietor. This is the form where your business income and your business expenses is being reported. So when they say send me your Schedule C, this is the form they're talking about, the form that you as a sole proprietor reports your business and your income and your expenses from your business. Okay, that's the Schedule C. Now, as a sole proprietor person, your Schedule C is included in your personal income taxes. So your 1040, which is your personal tax form, the Schedule C is a part of your 1040. So, and people are a little confused because they say, send me your your personal taxes, and they will ask you to send me your 1040. Then they'll say, send me your Schedule C. I just got this question yesterday, actually. A client called and said they want my Schedule C. What is that? Where can I find that? And what part of my taxes do I see the Schedule C? Okay. If you're a sole proprietor, guys, you file a Schedule C, and that is included in your personal tax return, which is your 1040 form, right? So make a note of that. So when someone says, send me your Schedule C or send me your 1040, you know what they're talking about, okay? All right, so the next one that I want to talk about here is the corporation. Now, again, businesses are asked to send a form. Send me your 1120. Again, I get this question all the time. What is that? What form is that? Okay. The 1120 is your corporation. If you have a C corporation, the 1120 form, that's the form that your C corporation filed for their taxes. So when you're asked to send your 1120, guys, that is your corporation tax return. So again, clients are getting confused with this. They're sending their personal, they're getting their personal and their business mixed up. So if you have a separate business, which is a corporation, they are filing their own tax return, and that is on a form 1120. So when you ask for your business return, don't get it confused. Your 1040 and Schedule C is your personal, and the 1120 is the business. And if they ask for both, then you got to send your personal return and your business return, okay? So the C corporation filing 1120. And then if you're a C corporation and you elect to be treated as an S corporation, an S corporation is a subchapter S, which is a pass-through entity. If you elect to be treated as an S corporation, you file a different form, which is the 1120S. So there's an S that's attached to the 1120 corporate return, but the S says you are a subchapter S corporation. Okay, that's the form that you will be sending them. This is the form that the tax return that's filed for the S corporation is an 1120S. This is what you will be sending if someone asks you for your business taxes and you're an S corporation. All right. Now, a lot of people get confused because people don't always know what entity they are, and they don't know what form they're filing. And so, I wanted you guys to really make a note of this. So because you're operating a business, whether it's by yourself, and you wanted to know what those forms mean, it's very essential for you to know that so that you're not transmitting the wrong information to the wrong folks. Okay. The next form of entity is the partnership. All right. A partnership files a 1065 form. A 1065 form if you're a partnership, or if you're an LLC with more than one partner. Now, the LLC with more than one partner in there, more than one member in it, they file a form 1065. Make a note of these form numbers. They file a form 1065. If your LLC has more than one member, that's what you file. And if you're a partnership, you file a 1065. Okay. If your LLC is one member, guys, that will go on that personal taxes we talked about earlier on your Schedule C for the federal government. So if your LLC is one member in it, it is filed with your personal return on your Schedule C. Okay. More than one member, you file a 1065 is a partnership return. Now, for a lot of you guys out there are forming, and I've gotten a lot of requests for forming nonprofit organization, guys. There's a lot of nonprofit that's out there now. And a lot of people are filing for their nonprofit status. And if you have a nonprofit, that has to file a tax return, because sometimes depending on how much money you make, you don't have to file a tax return as a nonprofit. You just file what they call an e-postcard. But if you're filing your tax return, guys, this is done on a Form 990. Okay. The Form 990 is for your nonprofit. If it's not a lot of activity, you can file a short form on this, but the Form 990 is for your nonprofit. Okay. Now, I've gotten clients again, and I keep saying this, and the reason why I want you guys to distinguish between this and why you need to know what type of entity you have, because I've had clients who have came into the office and is filing a tax return, and they are saying that they're an S corporation. And I've had cases where I've done 4 years of taxes as a subchapter S corporation, to find out later that this client was a nonprofit, because if the entity is the wrong form and you try to send it to the government, they won't accept that return, because they will say this is the wrong entity type. right? So I found out later after filing those returns that this client is actually a nonprofit return that they needed to file, and they needed to file a Form 990. Okay, so it's important. It's important for you to know your business structure so that you know what form to file and you're not filing years of the wrong return, all right? So that's for my second point. If you have a payroll, any of your business, if you have a payroll, you can have a payroll as a sole prop, or you can have a payroll as any other type of business entity. There are payroll forms that you need to file. And the two most common is your quarterly payroll form, which is the 941, and your annual payroll form, which is your Form 940. Okay, so those are payroll forms. So if you have a payroll, those are the forms. If someone asks you for your quarterly 941, guys, they're talking about your payroll returns. Okay, it's important. Again, it's essential. If you're going to run a business, it's very essential for you to at least understand what these forms are, make a note of this stuff, and you can, go back and look it up so that you understand what type of forms that you are filing. And so when you're asked to produce this information, you already know what they're talking about. Okay, so this is just a little tip on what it is if you're operating a business. So that's my number 2 tip today, guys. And then on the third one, we'll talk about the documents that you need to file these returns, right? If you are a sole proprietor, generally you will wind up having a W-2 form, or you will have a 1099, right? So if you're a sole proprietor, you'll have a W-2 form or a 1099 that's been given to you for you to file your taxes. If you are running a business now, you want to make sure that you do some accounting. You have to do some accounting. If you run a business, you got to know what your income and your expenses are. And so what we call a profit and loss statement, you have to find out what your income, how much money you spend, and then you will know what your profit is. And that's the information you will use to file your business tax return. Okay, so what you need to file these taxes, guys, my number 3 point, the documents that you're going to need for your personal taxes, a W-2 or a 1099 as a sole proprietor. And you would need an accounting done for your income and expenses so you can get your profit or loss statement, your profit and loss, it says profit or loss, for your profit or loss statement to file your business tax return. Okay, so that's the third point I wanted to make today, guys. I've just realizes that the importance of making sure that you file the proper tax returns and the proper tax form. Because if you don't, for instance, in the case that I said, when we sent in an 1120S for a nonprofit, it means that those returns that you should have filed properly now becomes late. Now you're getting tax, you have tax liabilities that's associated with filing the wrong forms, right? So again, it's so important if you're in business to know what it is that you are, what structure you're in, and to make sure that you file the proper forms. Okay, so right now I'm going to recap those 3 tips, guys. I wanted to make sure that you make points of this. It's very, very important, and so that you don't file the wrong things, and then of course find out later on that you get a letter stating that I have not filed my taxes, and then you get hit with a liability. You have money that you have to pay, and then all of a sudden now you're left with paying extra penalties just because you have filed the wrong form. So this is truly important. Hey, hi Thomas Zero, how you guys doing over here? Hey, how you doing, Albert? Thanks for tuning in. All right, so let me recap the 3 points today, guys. We're talking about what form you should be filing for your business entity. Very important point. Tips today. The first one is knowing your business structure. That will tell you what forms to file. Be familiar with what it is, because people are asking you, they're not telling you send me a tax return, they're telling you to send a form. Send me your 1040, send me your 1120, send me your Schedule C. All right, so know your business structure. That determines the forms that you need to file. And then the next point is, what are those forms? What are those forms? 4 main structures are your partnership, your sole proprietor, your corporation, and your nonprofit. The partnership is a 1065 form. Your S corporation, let's see, the sole proprietor files a Schedule C, and then of course your nonprofit will file a Form 990, guys, and then your corporation will file an 1120. If it's an S, it will be an 1120S. Very important. All right, and then if you have payroll, if you have a payroll. Those are the payroll forms, the 940 and the 941. And on that payroll form, guys, you know, with the PPP loan being in effect now, and a lot of businesses are trying to apply for the PPP loan, and they are asking me, well, can my business apply for a PPP loan? And, you know, I said, well, is it a corporation? They say yes. And I said, well, do you have a payroll? And they are not sure if they have a payroll. And they're asking you to upload your 941 and your 940. So you have to know these things. You have to know whether you have a payroll, and you have to know what those forms are, because those are the forms that you will be sending in to get your PPP loan. You need to know the 940 and the 941 for your payroll, okay? And then, of course, the third point today is the documents you need to file these taxes on the sole proprietor, guys. You get W-2s, you get 1099s. 1099s is when you work independently for someone. They give you a form to say how much money they paid you. Those are documents you need as sole proprietor. And if you are in business, very important, keep good accounting. Keep good accounting records so you can have a profit and loss statement to prepare your tax return. Very important. There's no way you will know what money you made or what money you spent. This information has to be on the taxes so that you can utilize that all the tax codes so you can maximize your deduction, minimize your tax liability, guys. The whole idea of all these tips, again, understand your business, save on taxes, put more money in your pocket. That's what we're here to do, guys. This is what we want you guys to know: how you can save, how you can put more money in your pocket, how you can continue to build wealth. And this is the most important thing that we are interested in, right? All right. So hi, Laverne. Thanks for jumping on. Again, you guys hit like and share. Put on your notifications so you know when we're on with all these major tips. Go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. There's a lot of great stuff there, guys. Go to YouTube, PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. Subscribe to our channel. And also, again, put your notification on. Hit like and share in this video. Elaine Proby here, CEO of PROBY'S Tax and Accounting. We're a full-service business, financial service business here in LA. And you can get your taxes done no matter where you are. You can get it to us. We have a secure website. You guys can upload your information to us on our secure website at PROBY'Stax.com. And of course, we will be able to take care of you no matter where you are. Everything is done electronically. You sign your taxes electronically, direct deposit, all that good stuff. Okay, so here's a question. Can I send my bank statements to prepare my taxes? That's a good question. I love that one. Can I send my bank statements? No, I get that all the time. Believe me, clients with businesses, they will send in 12 months of bank statement to prepare their tax return. However, guys, your bank statements has all your activity that you did all year long. It's in there on a monthly basis. For you to send your bank statement in to prepare your taxes, you need to get some accounting done. All right. Either you do the accounting or we'll do the accounting for you. But you have to recap. You have to do some accounting. You have to recap those bank statements when you send them in. Either we're going to have to recap those bank statements just so we can categorize what you spend your money on from those bank statements, or you can do them yourself. Because on the bank statements, it doesn't tell you a summary total, right? It will only give you your activity on a monthly basis. So because that's what you have, you cannot prepare the taxes from the bank statement. We have to do some accounting. We have to get a profit and loss statement and total of what those income and expenses are to get those taxes done. So I hope that answers your question, Lee Smith. Thanks for asking that. Clients send bank statements in all the time, and it delayed the processing of the taxes because there's some accounting that has to be done. All right. So with that said, guys, I would like to invite you guys back here on Thursday. Thursday is going to be really great. Thursday, we're going to talk about determine your dependents. Now, this is very important. As a matter of fact, this question is so common. People are calling in all day long. Clients are calling in, and still, you know, the whole question is who can I claim as a dependent? What qualifies somebody to be a dependent? Can my dependent file their own taxes? Can my dependent get their credit? Can my dependent get their student credit? Can they get their stimulus check? You know, so who are dependents? Who can you claim as a dependent, and what determine dependents, guys? And a lot of times it has nothing to do with age. Okay, it doesn't always have to do with age. And so we'll discuss that on Thursday. So I want to invite you guys to come back here Thursday so we can talk about who are dependents and who you can claim as a dependent. So that's going to be very exciting. And this will be Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. See you guys back here. Hi, learner. Thanks for jumping on. Yes, we can claim a dependent. Tune in on Thursday. Yep, the very, very important question. And guess what? One of the fun is we're going to talk about the child tax credit. And that's going to be exciting, right? So I'll see you guys back here on Thursday. Tune in, and we'll have some more tips for you. Elaine Proby here, CEO PROBY'S Tax and Accounting, guys. I want you guys to take care of yourself and take care of each other. Okay, stay safe.